Okay, welcome to this new call, guys. And today we're going to talk about how to resolve negative beliefs. Very important topic. Now, I'm pretty sure you're aware of why beliefs are very important. Okay, we all have heard about the double slit experiment. If not, it's just basically an experiment in quantum physics that proves that the observation of something has influence or has an influence, and not a minor influence, but a massive influence on the outcome. So the person that is observing something has a big influence on how that thing turns out, the result. Okay, very important to keep in mind. And the problem is that most people that learn about that believe that this is just a phenomenon that's takes place at a microscopic or very, very small level, but in reality, it's something that takes place around us all the time. And one of the consequences out of that is that our beliefs, our expectations of what will happen, and our interpretations of the world, which are usually subconscious, I'm going to go into that in just a second, determines really what we draw into our reality. Okay. Now, beliefs are really just events that happen into the past and are extrapolated into the future, into the present or the future. Okay, so we could say that. Let me give you an example. A person had a negative experience in the past, such as, let's say it's a girl that had a pet bunny. Okay, a little girl when she was 6 years old had a pet bunny, and it really loved her pet. She really loved her pet, and then died. Her interpretation of that was, and the interpretation was, and with that, a commitment, a certain, statement that or a certain decision that she had to make was, I love that rabbit so much. This is so painful. I never want to experience that again in the future. So I will never experience love like this again just to lose it. Okay, that could be a belief that she has now created as a consequence of a negative experience. Now, this is something that happened when she was 6 years old. And now she's 25 and she has completely forgotten that. She suppressed that. That's 19 years ago. Right? So now she's a grown woman, and whenever she's in a relationship and it starts to get serious, or she starts developing feelings for the man, for some reason, either the guy starts sabotaging the relationship or she does it herself. For some reason, she starts running, she starts sabotaging the relationship, or she thinks she needs something new. Now, her conscious mind wants a relationship. So she says, I want a relationship. But the 6-year-old girl created a statement, a subconscious program, a belief that is now having an effect on the past, on the present, as well as into the future if she doesn't resolve it. Okay. And that belief causes her to either sabotage the relationship or to attract people that will sabotage the relationship. So she can't fall in love again, at least not as deeply as she was loving the rabbit. So she is protected from the pain that could be the result of losing that person. You see? I'm sure the logic here is clear. So everybody, and we do that naturally. It's just part of the subconscious learning process that we have in this world, right? Our mind functions like that. We have negative experiences. We want to learn from those experiences, and we don't want to feel the same kind of pain. So we create these little subconscious beliefs. All right? You could see these subconscious beliefs as little magnets that will attract things and create things that are on the same or a similar frequency. This universe works in a way where our vibe that we subconsciously put out there attracts situations, people, and objects, and activates them in the outside world that are on a similar or the same frequency. Okay, so literally see them as little magnets that are in your aura that you're not aware of, and you created them in the past, and now they keep affecting your future. This is why a lot of people use subliminals and positive affirmations nowadays. That's almost mainstream, right? However, what they're creating is, if they don't resolve the negative beliefs first, what they're doing is they're just creating conflict here. Okay, so we got a negative belief that is pulling into that direction, and what most people do now is they just on top of that put a positive belief that is pulling into another direction. That creates conflict, that creates tension. Okay, the right way to go, the right sequence is to first let go of this negative belief, and then to install a positive belief, and then to pull forward into the right direction without too much resistance. And this is how you really change your life, because your beliefs are really the things, among other things. Okay, this is not 100% of it. It's just a piece of the puzzle. But those subconscious beliefs are what's creating your life, and much, much more. Okay, so how do we deal with that? How do we use that? There are many different techniques on how to resolve these negative subconscious beliefs, how to stop self-sabotaging and all that stuff, right? Now, on this call, in this lecture, I can't go into the ones that are more advanced and also work faster and more efficiently and whatnot, right? Because for that, you would need a lot of training on the mind. You would have to understand a lot of the structure of how it works. And of course, you're going to learn that in the order, in the new order of the Grail of the Serpent. But today, I'm going to give you a method that literally everybody can use, okay? And it's not going to take that long. So how does it work? How do you resolve negative beliefs? Now, the first thing that you need is a new goal, meaning a new belief that you want to have. Okay, so let's stick with the example of a relationship. Okay, so the 25-year-old woman that was self-sabotaging because of that experience with the rabbit. You know, I don't care if that sounds funny or not, or ridiculous. It's just how the mind works. You know, it's just what it is. So, yes, the 25-year-old woman is still being affected by the belief that she created as a 6-year-old girl. Let's assume she's listening to this lecture and she wants to fix that problem. So she creates the affirmation, the goal of, I want to attract a great guy and be in a happy relationship with him. Or it could be something like, let's keep it simple. I want a great relationship, a great romantic relationship. Boom. Okay. So this is the new goal. This is the new target. And what you would have to do now is she would have to envision that in her mind and kind of like project that into the universe. Okay. So she would imagine that and she would project that into the universe. Now, as she is doing that, the negative beliefs that are against that are going to be triggered. Okay. So in the background, she's already going to feel doubt about it, or, you know, maybe she's going to see negative images or whatever, right? But in some way or another, she's going to feel a resistance. Okay. And let's say the resistance manifests as a thought of, but I don't want to lose him. Okay. I don't want to lose anybody anymore. Okay. Let's say in her example, that would be the negative resistance that comes up. Good. Now she would write that down. And then she would repeat that in her mind and think to herself, okay, what was the first situation in which I was thinking that? Okay. What was the first situation in which this negative belief or this warning or this resistance first showed up, right? And eventually, as she keeps repeating the question to herself, the first situation in which she chose that belief, made that decision, will come up. Okay. In this case, she would remember when her rabbit died and her being completely devastated and deciding for herself she never wants to allow herself to love anyone ever again. Okay. Now, negative subconscious beliefs resolve themselves. They dissolve themselves the moment we become aware of the first time we created them and the circumstances around all that. Okay. And after that, she's no longer going to be affected by that negative belief. It's kind of similar to, how do we say that? Unless you're working with spirits when it comes to a spell, one of the reasons why a spell is effective is because the person is not aware of it. So what I'm trying to say is essentially that as long as things are unconscious, they have the power to affect the person. But as soon as you make them conscious, they lose their power over the subconscious of the individual, right? So unawareness, a lack of awareness, is a great factor when it comes to the effectiveness of a spell. And in this case, the poor woman was casting a spell on herself, essentially. In this case, a spell that was sabotaging her from finding good relationships, right? Now, this has many implications. For example, why is magic being ridiculed still in the world? Why is it kept secret? Why did the Inquisition destroy all, or attempted to destroy all magical knowledge? Why is it being ridiculed that this is absolutely real? Well, because if people don't believe in it, they will not dare to look into that direction that allows people that are in control of the planet to stay in control, right? But that's a different topic. All I'm trying to teach you here and try to share with you is please understand that your beliefs are absolutely important for the quality of your life and the results that you get. And number two, just creating positive beliefs is not going to be enough. You have to first resolve the negative ones, and then on top of that, create positive ones in order to really move your life into a great direction. Okay? So, do we have any questions so far? Do we have any questions so far? Okay, we don't have any questions. Good. So let me repeat that one more time. Okay. So how do you resolve negative beliefs? The first thing is you need a direction that you want to go into, a new belief, essentially, something that you want to see manifested in your life. Let's use something else this time. Okay, let's say the belief is I'm wealthy and I'll always have more than enough money. So the person would visualize that, would make it real to themselves, and then try to project it into the universe. As the person projects that into the universe, the negative beliefs or the contradictory negative beliefs are going to be triggered. And with that, sentences, statements, negative visualizations, negative emotions, whatever, right? And at that point, the person would take notes on all of those things, and they would ask themselves over and over again, when was the first time I felt that? When did I first feel that? And what was the context around it? And See, what you have to understand about the subconscious mind is it's kind of like these. It's kind of like being persistent with the question, and when you ask one question or the same question long enough, you're opening the floodgates. Okay, so you're not going to get the full answer the first time, but please believe me when I tell you that your subconscious knows every single detail, not even just from this lifetime. Your subconscious knows every single detail of all lifetimes that you ever had on this planet, on different planets and different species. Hell, if you go even deeper than that, your subconscious has access to the collective unconscious, the Akashic records, and much more, which means that you know everything. You can literally know everything. Why? Because you're not your mind, you're not your body. You are an immortal, everlasting spirit that cannot be destroyed, your consciousness. So when it comes to these memories, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to repeat the question multiple times. You keep repeating it. And yeah, like I said, the subconscious is like imagine a wall, and behind that there's a vast ocean of water, a massive body of water. So your question is kind of like attempting to crack a hole into the wall. Okay, and as you keep repeating the question, eventually you're going to break the dam, and then the floodgates are all going to open, and everything is going to come in. So this is why the subconscious requires a little bit of repetition. This is why you're going to have to do this process a couple of times. You're going to have to ask that question over and over and over again, but eventually you're going to get the answer. On top of that, it's usually not just one negative belief that is contradictory to what it is that you want. We live, unfortunately, at the moment, 2024, we live in a culture and society that is kind of fucked up, kind of effed up. It's for YouTube, kind of effed up. So what that means is that the ignorance of how the mind works is so enormous that people are literally destroying themselves and destroying their children and everybody else just because they don't know any better. So it's pretty much guaranteed that you have a lot of negative beliefs in regards to all kinds of different subjects in your life. Okay, what that means is that it's usually not just going to be one negative belief that is pulling against the positive ones that you're creating. You're going to have multiple ones. Okay, but how do you know that you resolved all negative beliefs in regards to a specific goal? Well, as you are visualizing that positive thing that you want, and as you're projecting it into the universe, you're going to have zero resistance. It's not going to be, I want a beautiful relationship that is deep and loving, but I don't want to be hurt. No, it's just going to be, I want that beautiful relationship and I have it. And it's just going to be a good feeling. There's not going to be any resistance. There's not going to be, I want to be wealthy and have an abundance of money, but there's so many poor people in the world, and I don't know if it's fair if some people are richer than others. No, it's just going to be, I want to be wealthy, I want to be abundant, and I have everything that I ever want. With a positive feeling. That's going to be the effect of having all negative beliefs resolved. Now, please understand that there are no absolutes in this universe. So you're always going to run into negative situations. You're always going to get hurt in the future. That's normal. However, the important thing is that you don't allow a negative event to become a negative self-fulfilling prophecy in the form of a subconscious belief. Okay? So you're going to have to keep doing this on a regular basis. Now, of course, you're going to have less and less and less negative beliefs in regards to whatever, right? But just observe your life, and whatever aspects of your life you don't like, just know that you have negative beliefs there. Okay? And now you know how to resolve them. Good. Do we have any questions now? Okay. All right. Good. So use that, and I see you soon. Bye-bye.